up to your questions.
Sean, I want to start maybe big picture here, and I know that your goals and the expectations are loftier, but 4 playoff appearances in 5 years on your watch, what does that mean?
Yeah, it means a lot. This is, I'm just one piece of it, and I think it says a lot about Terry and Kim and what they give us and the resources they've provided us over the years, and the partnership that I have with Brandon and then the coaches. Just doing a phenomenal job. A lot of good players through those 4 or 5 years now, and it's been a team effort. So the fans included. I mean, it hasn't all been the highest of highs all the time, but that's to be expected around the NFL, and them sticking with us has been important, and it was great to see him again today.
What's it say about the standard that you've set here, Sean?
That's what we expect. That's what we've talked about since day one. But I don't want to get too far ahead of us, and let's keep our focus where it needs to be, which is right in front of us, and this past game, obviously, and then moving forward into next week.
I know you prefer not to have found this out today, but the way you guys won this game without your quarterback, having his best day for sure, and you found other ways to win, is that a nice thing to know at this point in the year that you can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was very impressed with the way the offensive line took over the game, and the running backs as well. I thought Devin, that series, the 2 series after, so we get the turnover, unfortunately, after half. Defense comes out, makes a huge stop. Ed Oliver made a couple big plays in that series there, and then they take the delay, they punt it, goes into the end zone. Great situational football there, and then Devin came out and was just an animal that next series, which I thought was a great momentum boost to our team.
What's changed with Devin? What's changed with Devin the last 3 or 4 weeks or so?
I wish I could tell you specifically one thing, Josh, so you can write a good story about it. But he's always, this year in particular, since he came back to training camp, you could tell he had really worked his tail off, and I think he inspires the guys by his style of running. He's not a very big guy, but I can recall 2 or 3 runs on that next series that I alluded to already, where those were big runs for us, and you could tell there was something a little bit more he was giving right there.
What does it mean, Sean, to have that element of the offense kind of emerge at this time of the year? I mean, Josh, when we asked him about it, he said, to be able to run it when the opponent knows you're going to run it says that you have a chance to really be successful as an offense, especially late in the season.
Yeah, I think it brings to the surface our 2-dimensional offense, and that's a hard type of offense to defend.
Was that a conversation you guys had at halftime to try and, we can run the ball, we think that could work more? What was the adjustments at halftime like?
Well, I think just overall, I won't get into specifics really. I think overall the players did a really good job of executing what was addressed at halftime, offensively and defensively and special teams. So when you can do that, I mean, these games are going to be tough. It's late December, early January now. The weather is what it is, and that's the style of game you're going to be in every week, and you've got to be able to adjust through the course of the game.
Defense, even though you guys gave up some chunk plays, they buckled down in the red zone there. Mike up here earlier had mentioned we kind of re-emphasized and demanded a greater sense of urgency down there. Do you feel that they delivered that today?
I think the Falcons were 1 for 4, if my math is right, in the red zone, and 3rd down. So great situational football over. And when you look at 3rd down and red zone on both sides of the ball, maybe that was part of the difference in the score.
Josh had the 2 touchdowns early. When you're not having a great day throwing it, how much does his legs help? How does that change things for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's another component to our run game. Obviously wanting to be mindful and selective where we can with that because of Josh and the position he plays. So, but it's a good complement to what we do again.
Sean, can you take us back to that time? You're down there in their red zone. I think you're on their 10-yard line. You're up by 9 late in the first half. 3 minutes left or 3.5 minutes left or whatever it is. And the way things shifted from an emotional standpoint, I know you say you don't want to get into the X's and O's of halftime, but from an emotional standpoint, to go from ahead, comfortable, well, somewhat, and then be behind it at halftime, can you take us into that aspect of being a coach, leading his team, trying to readjust?
Well, the coach and the level and the word that was about to come out of your mouth, comfortable, they don't go in the same sentence. But I thought it was definitely a momentum change in the second quarter there, and we came in at halftime and we had to get that back. We had to get our guys re-energized and back believing in what they were doing and how they were doing it, and I thought the coaches did a great job with that and the players executed.
You stayed with Marquez after an early miscue. You've been frustrated at times about turnovers on special teams. Why did you make that decision to stay with him there?
Yeah, I thought that was important. Those are hard ones for a coach. Right? The ball is so important, and we turned it over 3-4 times today, however you want to count that one. So I mean, it's hard to win when you do that, and that'll be a valuable lesson for him, and I hope a stepping stone in his career.
What did you see out of Josh the way he responded after throwing that third interception? Because earlier in his career, he would do things like that and sort of unravel. This time, he seemed to.
I think overall for our team, I think that was a good moment for our team just in terms of how we came out of that and what we were able to do with the game. How it wasn't going our way at times through the turnovers in particular, and find another way to win. And you're going to have days. He's going to have days like that. But I have full confidence in Josh Allen.
I know usually you leave it to Brian to be communicating with Josh, but maybe after that third pick, did you have to step over and just say, hey, or what, did you say anything to him? Did you have to get up?
No, he knows. I mean, if this was his first year, then I would have had to said something or just follow up on it. But he already knows. We talk about it a lot how important the ball is, and same thing with Marquez. He already knows. And the biggest thing is, can you reset right through the course of a game? Is can you reset and get back on your A game and learn from it.
Trying to talk about re-energizing the team. The stop after the third interception, how big was that for that particular purpose? It seemed like you specifically were very re-energized by it as well.
Yeah, I was fired up. I mean, that was a big. I mean, right there, we come out of halftime and you were saying, "Hey, let's everybody get back on it," and you try and get momentum back with our energy, and we come out and throw an interception, and I think the ball may have in fact got tipped maybe there, but. That was a big changing point in the game, turning point in the game with momentum. The defense came out, and I thought did a great job adjusting on their part in the locker room at halftime and shut them down. And I think it was, like I said, they took a delay to punt it right there. So, and then it goes in the end zone. So it was a good complimentary football piece. And then the ensuing drive on offense, I think we went down and scored a touchdown as well. So, just high level of football.
How much of a momentum shift was it at that point in the game to have that taunting penalty go against Atlanta?
Say that again.
How much of a momentum, how much of a lift was it to have that taunting penalty go against Atlanta? So they didn't have the ball for one, they had it at 16.
I think the biggest thing right there is that's something we can learn from as a team. That those are going to play a big part in results of games down the stretch, and I know we'll talk about that on the early part of next week here as a team.
What did you see on the pass rush in general today?
Yeah, I thought there were some really good moments. I really did, and then I thought there were some times where we could have been better. But overall, again, not having looked at the film, I think we were able to get to the quarterback on early downs. We got to him at some point as well on third down and fourth downs. So I thought that there was some really good moments and probably some really good things when I turn the tape on and watch it. Then there were some where we could have been better, and I'm sure the guys feel the same way.
Dion was double teamed there in the end zone. He joked that it shows how much Josh trusts him, that he'll throw it to him with two guys on him. When you guys come out, don't go for the field goal early. You guys go for the touchdown. You call a play like that. It looked like you guys were making a concerted effort to be aggressive again. Is that something you kind of came into this one, riding the momentum a little bit from last week?
Again, Josh, I think I appreciate where you're coming from. I think it's just overall how we wanted to play this game or that situation within this game. It's not always going to be like that. It's just what we feel like the situation calls for.
Did you like that play call, this pass to 73?
I like when he's open better than when he's double covered.
Sean, is it important to do things that are fun at times during a game, even though just to get your guys a little going or whatever? Is it you can ride on some sort of vibe, or because this team does some fun things over the years.
Why don't you name what fun things we've done?
You know, doing something like throwing to Dion or
Yeah, I mean,
letting Kyle Williams
this is-
run the
At the end
ball.
of the day, listen, we're professionals in what we do, right? But at the end of the day, there's got to be some level of energy that comes from doing some things, right? And not only on the field, but off the field as well. So I think that is a part of good teams, is that chemistry, that synergy, and you get that through different ways.
To us, doesn't really seem like the loudest guy in the room. But for you, what do you see when a guy can step up and kind of shine in that role?
You said Devin, is that right? Yeah. He doesn't say a lot, and I really appreciate the way he approaches his job. He comes to work, he's prepared, he knows the details of his job, not only when he's carrying the ball, but when he doesn't have the ball, which is a big part of being a complete back. And I think that's a lesson for all the players on our team, including the guys at his position. All right, thanks, guys.